Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
I've come here at the invitation of the PS. First of all, because I think this is a very important topic that we have to deal with and to confront. And as you know, on Friday and Saturday, no, and on Sunday, His Excellency the President did voice his concerns about this issue. But one voice is not enough, and that is why I've come here to give my voice and my concern about this very important issue. And the second reason I'm here is because, as you know, Anne is a PS for gender. Currently, she doesn't have a CS, so she normally thinks I'm her CS. So I always tell people, as and when she requires me, as the acting CS for gender, to give my voice on this. I want to briefly look at this issue from two perspectives. The moral perspective and the legal perspective. And let me start with the moral perspective. I think one of the biggest problems we have, especially about violence against women, and Madam PS, we need to ensure that the definition of this gender-based is not necessarily about violence against women. Maybe that is why in this room it is very disproportionate. There are more women than men. I don't want to hear about a men conference or a women conference. I want us to have a conference on intergender relations, that it is a shared responsibility between the two, because the minute you have a men's conference, we are actually perpetuating the problem. And actually, I'm persuaded to think that on the side of men, there is a cultural issue of empowerment and disempowerment. And that is why I'm also challenging the church, our religious people. Every time we are dealing with men, especially from the rural sector, men perceive violence to be their culturally, can we call it constitutional entitlement? Yes. Yeah? You try and tell them not to have violence against women. Let me say, like where I come from, we don't talk about marrying a woman, we talk about buying a woman. Can you imagine? Yeah? So unamwambia mtu asipige mtu alinunua sanguzi. So unless we look at it from that point of empowerment and disempowerment, from the point of view of entitlement, then we'll be missing the point. Because at the core of this is the moral acceptability, that it has become morally acceptable. And that a campaign needs to start from that point of view. That this is not, violence is not a symbol of power, and it is not as an insignia for status. Then I think then we can start to have a conversation. In my village, there was one of my neighbors. He was very notorious for beating his wife. And the wife would scream and ask for help from the village. At some point, people used to stop. As they got fatigued, they stopped coming out to help. They used to say, so even when other women suffered the same fate in the village, nobody was coming out saying, because they had become acceptable, that became the norm. So unless we come from the point of view of that the moral acceptance of violence is no longer tenable. And of course you have to look at all the other cousins of GBV, FGM, yeah, teen pregnancy is another form of violence, isn't it? Yes. When you extinguish the future and the dreams of young women through teen pregnancy. So all this, we must actually condemn the entire space and confront it from the, the whole spectrum of tendencies, which on the face of it looks okay, on the face of it looks acceptable, but actually that is the breeding. FGM teen pregnancy is actually the breeding point for violence, because that is where from the breeding point of impunity starts from the other things. People don't wake up one day and become violent. It is the small things. Yeah, it's the small things. But at DIG, when we condone that petty chicken in the village, that is a rapist of tomorrow. That's a femicide guy of tomorrow. So things don't go bad. Things start bad. And it's important that for us to be able to confront this issue, especially from the moral point of view, we are able to look at that data. So I agree with those who are saying this has to be a campaign, a sustained campaign. And I've told Mr. Kuria, because I was one of the framers of the current constitution. And the reason we came up with the commission, with the GEC, is because somebody again here has mentioned something which is absolutely on point about sustainability. All of us would work on this issue because now it is in the headlines. Tomorrow, everybody goes on their business. And we are allowed to go on our business. There's nothing wrong we are doing. Sam Denya has his day job. He'll talk about this today, tomorrow he's in his hospital, treating patients. Yeah? PS will be distributing women fund tomorrow. DAG will be writing Changa. Yeah? And other things. But you have no other business, my friend. So you have to choose that if there is loss of sustainability, they back up to the GEC. Because they are the only people which they could commit constitution. And it gave you immunity. I cannot, I have to go and change the constitution with a very high threshold for me to do away with the convention. So why did the constitution and the framers find it necessary to give you that independence and that security? It's because the framers did realize that we do not offer justice to these issues by having touch-go kind of approach. And they found it necessary and apt to have a team that is there today, tomorrow, and the day thereafter. So we cannot be haphazard and you be haphazard. Yeah? If you're not haphazard, if you're not sustainable, then let us do away with the commission. Because all of us are allowed to sleep on the job. But you are mandated to wake us up. Yeah? So I think that is very important because we really, we are at that moment when we will start reviewing our constitution, because it's inevitable we have to create some point. At that point, please know that you have to give your valuable position to society and show us why we have this issue. I'm saying this because some few years ago, as a member of parliament, I attended a funeral of a young girl, an A student from Moi University in Nyeri County. The girl who was murdered by the boyfriend. Yeah, I think her name was Ivy or something like that. And I remember I spoke at that funeral in Nyeri. And I vowed, this is the last time we are here to talk about this issue. That's how I want to go up. We are talking about the same issue. And that demonstrates to me that guilt, I feel guilty about it. And that shows I am guilty 5 kilos because I am here again because you have got violence cases. But you are guilty 100 kilos because you allowed me to sleep. You allowed us to sleep. And I can see, I know there are some people here from NGO, our development partners. We have agreed with my peers here that we will put together even a development partner support group on this particular issue. Because we have the framework within government to coordinate the development partners. And there are many development partners who want to assist. So if you want to do the right thing, I am not sure that resources will be a problem. What we need is much more organization, and I hope Anne will be able to follow up with that with our office, which coordinates development partners, because they have expressed willingness, but they are saying please coordinate us so that we approach it as one coherent approach. Having said that, despite the Nyambura effects of acceptability, despite the low bar of condemnation, despite the need to have advocacy and to bring everybody. This is not just a sin where, as a Catholic, I can go to the priest and say, "Forgive me, Father, I have killed." That is okay, you can go and defend. But ultimately, this is a crime, and it must be recognized as a crime. So, DIG, we have some work to do. And for me, before I start thinking, why did that person kill? The first thing is that that person is a criminal, irrespective of the motive. Joblessness, alcoholism, those are things you say as mitigation before you are sentenced to die. They cannot be justification for committing crime. And so therefore, ultimately, we have to treat this as crime. There is no justification there, and I hope GMM will remain behind. If you guys want us to have a softer way for girls to reject, please put it in the law. These are the acceptable soft ways for girls to reject. Then we know now that there is a code, that there is a formula, isn't it? Or otherwise, who is going to determine that this is the good way? There cannot be any justification. Soft rejection, hard rejection, disturbed, somebody who is undergoing midlife crisis, nothing. Crime is crime is crime, and the first thing is we punish crime, and then we look at all the other factors as preventive, as to how can we be able to prevent more crime. But when crime happens, it must be dealt with. I'm agreeing with the people here who have said, actually, I was just having a meeting outside the pier. My first question to her was, where is Mbakum in this? Where is Mbakum? And where is the responsibility? And DIG, and I'm saying this on behalf of the government of Kenya, we are going to hold every sub-chief and every chief responsible for violence and femicide cases within the jurisdiction. I think that is the beginning. If we are holding them accountable for illicit bruise, what about loss of right? So we need to put this in the performance contract, and I will be talking to the PS Raymond Moro, that our chiefs and we are going to develop, and I hope PS please work together with Raymond. So we develop a manual for the assistant chiefs and chiefs. That one does not need a workshop. During the seminar, these people are there. Chiefs are on pay. Now we are working on a program, and the president announced it, I think 2 weeks ago, to give some stipend to our Nibakumi people. So even them, they will be under some sort of performance contract. And I think this issue of violence against everyone, whether men or women, the responsibility needs to be devolved to the lowest level, and that needs to have some consequences. It's not just about responsibility. We have, thanks to our judiciary, we cannot blame the judiciary. 12 special courts on gender issues. Surely, even corruption, which we claim is a big problem, has only one court. Gender cases is actually mandatory. 12 courts. So when we don't make the visit on a DIG, it's a letdown on the judiciary, which has actually set aside, these courts to be able to handle these cases. And so therefore, we need to have a tracking mechanism to ensure that all these gender cases are expedited within the shortest time possible. And I want to challenge the media also. When we convict someone on gender violence, please donate space for us to recognize him as a hero. Yeah? If he is a hero. Let us, what happened to those crime pages we used to have? Yeah? Wacha tuone kwa gazeti ya Nation, TV ya Citizen, donating space to say so and so, convicted so and so on gender-based reasons, and they have been convicted. So that we have a name and shame approach, to this. But so everybody has a role to play, and I wanted to challenge the media to assist us on these issues. We have a problem of, I was just asking Kuria here, whether femicide specifically, is it an urban issue? And I think statistics will prove, I don't have the empirical data, but I think statistics will show that whereas domestic violence is a rural issue, femicide is largely an urban issue. Ni shida ya matajiri. Yeah? Ni shida ya matajiri. Yeah? The people who are in femicide cannot claim the same level of deprivation as people who are in the domestic violence. Yeah? And so we need even to be more ruthless on especially this creepy urban violence in the name of femicide. So in my point of view, femicide is nothing but that violence that was with Nyambura in my village has just come upstream. It has just become elitist. And then, you know, sisi tunajipenda sana. Huko mnaita gender domestic violence. Hapa mnaipatisa femicide. What is that? Now tell something nice even. Because we are selfish. Yeah? Why Christ it? Why this is crime? This is crime. This is crime against men. This is crime against women. Calling it femicide is actually giving it some. It is rubbish in a gift wrapping. You know. So let us not dignify, yeah, and make it, you know, more attractive. You know, it is. I think they must have the murderers must have hired a very good PR company to, you know, because it's just murder. It's just murder and doesn't become more acceptable because it has been done in the urban areas more than if it is done in the rural areas. And in this respect, we know the problem we're having with our what we call our short-term rental spaces. Some call them Airbnb, which is really an insult to the wonderful company that is Airbnb. I don't know how the Airbnb company feel when all these negative things are associated with the Airbnb, a very reputable global company. But you know what? Whatever is known as violence coming from Airbnb, and we don't have an industry for Airbnb in this country. What they have, somebody convert some residents into some commercial place, use informal communication, SMS, WhatsApp, I don't know, social media, Instagram, what? Transfer money in a way we have no stress. So therefore, the crime that comes from these rental spaces has no footprint. And I remember when I was in the cabinet, and we had the other, because that's the problem now, the secretariat. When I raised this issue in cabinet a few months ago, because some femicide had happened. Yesterday I was checking with the secretary to the cabinet on what happened to my initiative. And we said, oh yeah, let us revisit it. Get. We are allowed to sleep on the job. It is your obligation to wake us up. And I really want you to really follow up on this because we agreed to do two things in the cabinet. One is that anybody who is offering these short-term spaces, call them Airbnb, call them short-term leases, short-term rentals, homestays. One, we are passing regulation that they must be registered with the Ministry of Tourism. Because they are just tourism. What's the difference between that somebody in Rwanda and Serena Hotel? What's the difference? If you go to Serena Hotel, you must provide your proper identification document. Why should it be, the bar should be lower there, and therefore we just create more murderers? So we are going to follow up, and I want to invite you here today and PS to follow up on this particular issue, so that one, they are all registered and recognized by the people who regulate the tourism space. I think it's the Tourism Regulatory Authority or whichever other licenses you may agree with the Ministry of Tourism. And the second thing is that these people offering these services must be on some recognized platform. Airbnb is licensed by Communication Authority. So if you book a space on Airbnb, we just go to those people and say, who is this person? Yeah, so there's better visibility which will help Lagat and the police people to be able to catch the criminals. But what about our current practice? You transfer money from this person to that person, not you don't know what it was for. So we are also going to change that regulation to ensure that all those businesses must be done on platforms which are recognized by Communication Authority. Once we pass those two regulations, DIG, kazi itakuwa kwako. Now you can zunguka, and I want to challenge get to, I don't know if, do they have a hotline?
Yeah.
Any of you?
Yes, yes.
So please, in this campaign, when we start, let's have as many touch points for this. But me, I know one, which I know works. It's called 999. And you see why you have a hotline for GPP? It's because you're not using a hotline. So you see, you are already perpetuating this notion that it's not a crime. Violence against any gender is a crime. So even as you have your own, please work with DIG. Let us train our young men and women in Jogo. I am telling you, those people can do a wonderful job. Once you train them, you hear all Kenyans reporting. Because DIG needs that information for him to be able to take action. Finally, on the issue of violence that is motivated by mental illnesses, I think we have to agree that a mental illness is an illness like any other that is confronting, unless I'm otherwise advised. Now we have got our social health authority, SHA, which we are rolling out. And this, from this workshop, because I'm also involved in the rollout of this SHA, we have got our 100,000 strong army in the form of community health providers, who are otherwise doing a very good job. As we speak, these people, these men and women have visited 8 million homes for the last 1 year. 8 million homes. And provide so many for diabetes, for hypertension. If we were not dropping the ball, they would also have been mapping people with mental illnesses. We need to know them. You cannot continue confronting an enemy whom you don't know. They can speak from any corner. Yeah? I will ensure, and the government will ensure that our state is also doing mapping for our people who are suffering from this, because they are known. Let us say to the much extent possible that they are known, they be mapped so that we can also be able to see how we can be able to help them. Honorable Mayor, I think Parliament, you have got a responsibility. Also, as I am really happy with what the member said, that we can be able to debate, talk about it again and again. And as we have been challenged here, let's go back to where we come from. Let's treat this issue. Let us really feel the shame that we have to come back here again and talk about this issue, honestly speaking. And let us support all these programs, because once we have got SHA, and all the 54 million Kenyans are going to be on that platform, then we start now the proper profile. My friend Mudon, I have been asking you for over the years about our footprint of PWDs. SHA is your platform now. That's by click of a button in a location called Kanyamkago. I can tell you how many people of PWDs we have. It is time we become deliberate about our programs. And I really feel sad that when we have got a system that makes us, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the rule of law is based on what we are doing on this section. It's about the rule of law. It's about mapping everybody. It's about ensuring that we can account for every citizen. So please, this is very good, but when we meet again, let us not meet again because of femicide. Let us meet again because we make this campaign sustainable and we all do what we need to do. Thank you very much.